Hello friends, welcome. Here we are discussing real stories told by real people. Today we have a story about a man who trusted his wife as himself, but quite accidentally found out the shocking truth about her. Let's see what happens. My name is Kevin. I'm 35 years old, and my life was ruined in 1 week. I never thought that my wife, Ashley, was capable of betrayal. Ashley has always been my best friend. We've been together since college. I loved her more than my life. We lived in a cozy house in the suburbs of Boston. We had a stable, happy life. But it all turned out to be an illusion. Ashley is an attractive woman, 33 years old. She has long brown hair and green eyes. She was always sociable and cheerful. Her smile lit up any room. I could never imagine that there was a lie behind that smile. One evening, while Ashley was in the shower, her phone vibrated on the kitchen table. I usually never looked at her messages, but something made me pick up the phone. It was like an intuition, an inner voice telling me that something was wrong. A message from a man named Brad appeared on the screen. I opened the correspondence. My heart sank when I read his words. "I can't wait to meet you tonight." My hands were shaking. I've read the rest of the messages. They were full of love and passion, which I have not seen in our relationship for a long time. When Ashley returned to the kitchen, I couldn't contain my emotions. "Who is Brad?" I asked, trying not to scream. Ashley froze. Her face turned pale, and her eyes widened in fear. "Kevin, it's not what you think," she began, but I interrupted her. "Not what I think it is. You're cheating on me, Ashley." "How could you?" My pain burst out. I couldn't hold back anymore. She looked at me, her eyes filled with tears. "Kevin, I didn't want this to happen. I'm confused. I was lonely. You were so busy at work, and I've always been here for you." I interrupted her again, feeling the anger building inside me. "I thought we were happy. How long has this been going on?" Ashley covered her face with her hands, tears streaming down her cheeks. "A few months," she whispered. I felt the ground slipping away from under my feet. My legs gave way and I sat down on a chair. "A few months," I repeated, not believing my ears. "What about the baby?" "You're pregnant, Ashley." She looked at me, and I saw despair in her eyes. "I do not know what to do, Kevin. I'm confused," she repeated. We sat in silence until the words lost their meaning. Everything I knew, everything I believed in, collapsed in one moment. Thousands of questions were spinning in my head, but there were no answers. Ashley finally spoke. "Kevin, I want to try to fix everything. Give me a chance. I'm going to stop everything with Brad. Please." I looked at her, not recognizing the woman I had loved for so many years. "I need time," I said, getting up and leaving the room. "I do not know if I will ever be able to forgive you." It's been a few weeks since I found out about Ashley's cheating. We lived like on a powder keg. I avoided talking, and she tried to act as if nothing had happened. But the trust was destroyed. Ashley has become even more beautiful. Her brown hair was shiny, and her green eyes were always full of secrets. She started wearing more makeup, trying to look flawless. Maybe it was her way of making amends. But each of her actions only increased my pain. One evening, I decided to check on her. She said she was going to be late at work. But I didn't believe her. I followed her. She didn't go to work. She went to a small cafe on the outskirts of the city. I sat down at a table in the corner, watching what was happening. Ashley entered the cafe, and a few minutes later, Brad joined her. Brad was a tall, fit man with dark hair and a confident smile. He looked like he knew he could get whatever he wanted. They sat down at a table in the far corner. I couldn't hear them talking, but I could see them laughing and holding hands. It was unbearable. When they left the cafe, I decided to approach them. Ashley, I called, trying to contain my emotions. She turned around, and her face was distorted with fear. Kevin, what are you doing here? What is it? She asked, letting go of Brad's hand. I could ask the same thing, I replied, looking straight at Brad. So this is your Brad? Glad to meet you. Brad looked puzzled, but then smiled. Kevin, right? I don't think it's good, I replied, feeling anger boiling inside. Ashley intervened. Kevin, please, let's talk about this at home. Not here. No, Ashley, I said firmly. We'll talk now. You lied to me. Again. Brad stepped forward, trying to intervene. Look, maybe we all need to calm down and discuss this calmly. I looked at him in disbelief. Calm down? Are you kidding? You destroyed my family. Ashley, holding back tears, pulled at my hand. Kevin, please let's go home. We'll talk. I pulled my hand away. No, I can't believe a word you say anymore. I turned and walked away, leaving them standing there. A long evening of reflection awaited me at home. I didn't know what to do next. But one thing was clear. Our relationship could no longer be the same as before. It's been a few months since I left our shared home. I moved into a small apartment in the city center. Life seemed empty and meaningless, but I tried to move forward. Ashley and Brad continued their relationship, and I decided to completely erase them from my life. The new job turned out to be a real salvation. I got a job at a small architectural firm. The staff was friendly and supportive. There was more freedom and creativity in the new job. It helped me take my mind off my personal problems. One day at work, Jessica, our project manager, came up to me. Jessica was a tall woman with short blonde hair and blue eyes. She always looked stylish and confident. Kevin, are you free tonight? I'm going to the bar with my colleagues, she asked, smiling. I thought about it. Yes, why not? It won't be bad. We met in a small cozy bar. My colleagues turned out to be a great company. Laughter, jokes, and light conversations filled the evening. At one point, Jessica sat down next to me. How are you holding up, Kevin? I know it hasn't been easy for you lately, she asked, looking straight into his eyes. I sighed. Yes, it's not easy, but I'm trying. Work helps to distract you. She nodded. If you need support, know that we are all here for you. These words warmed your soul. Thank you, Jessica. It means a lot. We continued to communicate, and I began to feel like life was returning to normal. The new friendship and support of my colleagues helped me forget about the pain. A few weeks later, I received an unexpected email from Ashley. She wanted to meet and discuss the future of our child. I wasn't sure if I was ready for this, but I knew that a meeting was inevitable. We met in a cafe. Ashley looked tired, but still beautiful. She was wearing a simple blue blouse and jeans. Her brown hair was pulled back in a ponytail, and her green eyes looked dull. Kevin, thanks for agreeing to meet, she began, nervously fiddling with her napkin. What did you want to discuss? I asked, trying to keep my voice even. Our child. I understand that this whole time has been hard for both of us, but we need to decide how we're going to raise him. I nodded. I agree. What do you suggest? I want our child to have both parents, but I understand that after everything that has happened, it will be difficult. I looked at her, feeling mixed feelings. Yes, it is difficult, but for the sake of the child, we have to try. We agreed on joint custody and regular meetings. It was the first step towards a new beginning. I understood that there were many difficulties ahead, but I was ready for them. One thing was important: the happiness of our child. It's been a few months since we met at the cafe. Life was gradually getting better. Ashley and I have agreed on joint custody. I saw our son, Jason, several times a week. This time has become a source of joy and tranquility for me. My new job at an architectural firm was thriving. I became the project manager, and the team respected my decisions. Jessica, our manager, has always been supportive of me. We became good friends, and it helped me cope with difficulties. One evening, after a long day at work, Jessica invited me to dinner. "Kevin, can we have dinner together tonight?" "I know a great restaurant nearby," she offered, smiling. "Why not? It will be nice to have some fun," I agreed. The restaurant turned out to be cozy and stylish with soft lighting and quiet music. We chose a table by the window and ordered dinner. Jessica looked gorgeous in a navy blue dress, her blonde hair glistening in the candlelight. "How are you feeling right now, Kevin?" "What is it?" she asked, pouring me more wine. "Better. Much better. Thank you for your support. You've become a real friend to me," I replied, looking into her eyes. She smiled. "I'm glad to hear that. You deserve to be happy." We continued to talk, and I felt something more than just friendship arise between us. Jessica was attentive and kind. She understood me perfectly. Soon after that dinner, we started seeing more of each other. I took my time, but gradually our relationship became closer. I felt like I could trust and love again. Meanwhile, the relationship with Ashley remained difficult. We only talked about issues related to Jason. She was still with Brad, and I tried not to interfere in their lives. Only one thing was important: the well-being of our son. One day, Ashley called me and asked me to meet her. "Kevin, we need to talk. It's important," she said on the phone, and there was alarm in her voice. "Okay, let's meet," I replied, trying not to show my excitement. We met at the same cafe where we discussed custody. Ashley looked tense but composed. She wore a light green blouse and black trousers, and her brown hair was neatly styled. "Kevin, I wanted to talk about Jason," she began, avoiding my gaze. "What happened?" I asked, wary. "Brad and I have decided to break up. I think it's better for all of us. I would like to discuss how we will continue to build our relationship for Jason's sake," she said, and I saw sincerity in her eyes. I nodded. "We will manage. The main thing is our son's happiness." Ashley breathed a sigh of relief. "Thank you, Kevin. I know it was difficult. But I want Jason to have a stable and loving family." We agreed on new custody terms and tried to work together for the sake of our child. Jessica supported me in this process. She became not only my support, but also a part of my new life. Every day, I felt like my life was making sense again. I found a balance between work, fatherhood, and a new relationship. Jessica and I started planning the future together, and I believe that there were many happy moments ahead of us. A new life had begun, and I was ready to accept all its challenges. The main thing is that I knew that there were people nearby who would support me in any situation. So we have come to the end of this story. Please write your opinion in the comments. We will be interested to know it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss new, even more exciting stories. We wish you good luck.